Vitas. Oh, I love me some Vitas. And then, like, you have to do that dance where you're kind of barely moving, but your wrists are all limp and weird. It's like Vitas karaoke. Man, Azure, I've been too early to ask questions. It's not even 4 o'clock yet. Okay, so that's the Vitas song, and now I just want to start improvising on it. So that's like the Charlie Parker version. Selecta. Sorry, then there's the Ollie G version. Whew. Okay, so I'm starting to sit down. That's the Hetfield version. And then there's Lars Ulrich in the background going like Selecta. There's Ollie G again. He always sneaks in. Wagwan, right? You know, like right when you least select him. You least select me. So, if you guys were looking for a Metallica Vitas acapella remix, you came to the right place. Well, I don't think my camera's working, so just hold on with me for just another minute. And, you know, I thought the camera was garbage, but I think the computer is what's dumb. Hey, I think my computer got dumb. Hey, I think my computer got dumb. Yay, yay, hey. I think my computer got dumb. But there I am. Oh, there I am. I've been waiting for the world's book to come into the mail. Ooh. Okay, I'm adjusting things here so that you guys get the ideal experience. All right, so if I just scroll a bit here, you guys know this. Every time is the first time, right? There we go. That's a pretty good little setup. You can see what you're saying in the chat. Oh, you can see what you're saying in the chat. Stephen McClanahan throwing $5 into the monkey pit. Hey. Can I just do one more Vitas real quick? There we go. There we go. What do we say? Oh, that's right. Greetings, programs. Hanker and Fernale here, back once again with an awesome episode of Runehammer, where we learn to play D&D like big old badasses, like grown men and or women, both. All genders are welcome here. All gender identifiers are welcome here. All human beings are welcome here. Because I'm going to tell you what, man. We're going to make windows. We're going to do windows and they're going to work. You know what? Actually, screw this Photoshop window. Look at me. I'm huge. Okay, so let's make me huge. Get rid of this. I'm going to get this going to be big. You guys, this is going to be huge. I don't even know what the fuck am I doing? I don't know. You guys just have to look at the Glorious Mead picture probably. Here, let's not get recursive. And I'm just ruining my whole setup because I'm excited. I got a lot of endorphins going this week. All right, there you go. You get to see Chuck and Rose's wonderful mead, which they sent me. Jay Del Mastro, if you're looking for boobs, I don't blame you, but you did come to the wrong channel if that's what you're looking for. That's definitely out there if you want to find it, and I don't hold that against you, but there's not a lot of that happening right here. I'm a male person. I identify as a male because my name's Hanker and Fernale. That rhymes with man and endorphins. Okay. Before we get crazy, it is Friday. Freya's Day. Frigg's Day, according to some people. But we're going to... what is that? I don't know. Tastes a lot like alcohol. So for those of you who showed up on Wednesday evening, I was ridiculously excited. So the tension and the pressure and the waiting and the craziness of releasing Worlds had kind of got to me, I have to admit, on Wednesday afternoon. And I put aside the commission work that I was doing, and I went out and drank some beers, as all of us do when we're a little bit under pressure. Had a great time with my townsfolk that I love so much here in my little town that I like to drink with at my little pub. And I got home, and lo and behold, on my stoop was a little treasure in a little brown envelope, and it was the proof copy of Worlds, which, as you guys know, is kind of the only variable I needed to close or to finish so that I could hit the green button and ship this thing and let people read what I've been working on. So, let is the wrong word. Hope that people would read what I've been working on so long. And so, like Wednesday night, if anybody tuned in, I'm just going to keep adjusting things because I think it's kind of fun. So if you tuned in, man, I just had such an emotional night on Wednesday because all of this work had finally, come around in a way. Like it had all... I know there's Hankception happening, but How do I like move this? Can I move this little piece? Can I make Hankception get smaller? Because it's super dumb and annoying. I don't see a way to do that. Ba, 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 ba. Maybe I just crush this. There we go. And then we kind of go like that. But I can't move these little dividers. And so I'm stuck with this like mini chat, which I find lame. So I'm sure you guys watch a lot of streams on Twitch and other services which are, well executed and have technical competence. This is not one of those streams. This is not one of those streams. You guys, I put all of my work into the games, into the writing, into the work itself. I don't know what I'm doing in this area. So I'm just going to keep clicking things. All right. Hey, everybody, welcome. Welcome. Let me just scroll down. What are we looking at here? Oh my goodness. Okay. It gets really exciting, I just start getting very verklempt, to use coffee talk terminology. It's just coffee. We're just going to talk. But I get very verklempt. I catch some vapors. All right, you guys, welcome. Thank you for tuning in, all 90 or so of you. Oh my God. Whew. Okay, so first of all, thank you, Rory. You are a baller. I appreciate that. Watching the Ghost Mountain Rally. Yeah, man. Hey, here's the crazy thing. I know that the Fire and Ice video is the biggest thing that I'm working on right now. And I keep putting it off. But you guys, honestly, I have some creative blockage happening. I just want to be completely honest about it. It's been really hard to get that video made and to give it all the attention it needs. I know it seems like, it's been like 3 weeks since I made a video and it's just like lame. But you know what? At the same time, the whole purpose of Runehammer was never just to make videos. It was always just to communicate with you guys, both in private as well as in public. And hey, Stephen Brook, I've been drinking this nice beer called Dang all afternoon, Dang Citra. And now, just to wind things down, I've got this nice bottle of Pinot Grigio that I got. It's called El Pavi from Napa. It's a nice little local wine. Actually, it's really mild and it's really good. I could see tossing a bit of something in here, something red to give it some color. But oh my God, this stuff is so good. And unlike so many places in the world nowadays, it's just a paradise for alcohol. It's just a paradise. It's just. And I don't mean that as like a wino. I mean it as an enjoyer of alcohol. Like the alcohol industry is just getting better and better in quality and diversity. And oh my gosh, it's so great. The localness of it is fantastic. You guys, thank you so much for what you're saying about pressure and stuff. I really do appreciate that. You maybe you guys do or don't realize how much pressure is associated with all this stuff. But especially with videos, I feel that it would be wrong for me to make like some kind of weekly video because it's weekly. I really think it's right to make a meaty, beefy room design bomb that can just be dropped on your table. And yeah, and those things aren't always easy to make, especially when you're kind of going through some life changes and stuff like that. Hey, enough of that talk. I was describing why I had to delete my stream from Wednesday. Oh, and I'll tell you why. Because I got too emotional. So the release of Worlds has been a journey of the spirit and the mind. And I know it's just a silly book, right? It's just an RPG book. And like, the world is a huge, complex place with triumph and tragedy and struggle and difference all over the world right now. And like, some of our leaders don't get along. And there's always terror happening. There's always people struggling to do what's right in all kinds of complex situations. And I don't want to come off as self-important in a way that this tiny little hobby that we do is somehow more or competing with any of those events that are happening. Nature is lashing out at people all over the earth, and our political scene is constantly rising and falling, and it's all very complicated. But I can tell you guys that the love that we have for each other and the love that we have for our hobby and for storytelling is more timeless than all of those things, and actually is one of the devices that will help us recover and heal from all of these things that are happening on the earth. So everyone out there who is going through some shit, I reach out to you, and I can't be specific because there are too many friends who have reached out to me from too many places all over the earth. And it wouldn't be fair to zero in on any one of them, even people in my own home country. It's a small view of the world. It's a big earth. And there's tons of amazing and tragic things happening on the earth at this moment. So what we're going to do is acknowledge those things, love each other, bind together, help each other out, and also hold on to the silly little things that we value. You know, you're not going to win wars with poetry, but you're not going to fight them with poetry either. And I think that matters. And so if we want to be poets, then we can do it together, and we can love each other, and together we can rise up through some of these challenges that are facing us all. So if anyone out there that you know is needing help right now, help them out, okay? And help them out in whatever way. It doesn't have to be, you know, your money or your muscle. It can also be your inspiration. It can be your faith, your hope, your friendship. That's how we're going to win. That's how the Obel Hearts will rise up. I mean, that's what people have always done in all countries around the world. So I just want to send that message out to everybody of love. It's one love on this planet, all right? And also, I want to thank everybody who is all over the world. I get messages from people all over the world who send me well wishes and cheers and a quick salute and a thanks and a hell yeah from all countries all over the world on every continent. And it is a freaking spectacular feeling because the world is small in a good way. Like, we are all similar, and that freaking matters. We're going to help each other out when times are tough, and we're going to have fun when times are good. All right? So there we go. Let's get that out of the way. Now I got to tell you why this shit is blowing my mind. It was a big journey, right? Supposedly, I wrote a semi-decent RPG, so that's already weird enough. But then, like a dumbass, I decided to make a business out of it, and so I had to make that second album, you know, and there's all these legends about how hard the second album can be. Well, I learned why there's legends about that stuff. It's very difficult to follow up, to keep going, to expand and to innovate upon your own things. So what did I do? So my approach to try to solve the second album problem was to gather smart people around me, which has always been my approach, which I love smart people, and I love not smart people, to be totally brutally honest. I just love people. I love new people. I love different people. I love the way that people change your expectations and your preparations and your preconceptions. And so when I was kind of like, well, I got this second album problem, and actually I think my first book is quite well self-contained, but I had to make this second book. And there's a group of people that huddled in around me, some of them closer than others, but lots of them, all of them with brilliant ideas. And, also you guys see me doing a lot of commission work, right? Which is like where I do artwork for people. But you know what? This is not just doing artwork. When you do character artwork for people, they tell you everything about their character. And as a dungeon master, it puts you at this wonderful apex of player ideas. So there are so many people coming toward me with their ideas of who their characters are, and then I get to help them realize those things. And it's absolutely fantastic. And not because I make a few dollars, which is great because I need to pay my bills like everyone else, but the access to idea power that I have because of this privileged position and because of technology and the way that the world is starting to unfold, my goodness, it really adds up to an amazing experience as a creative person working on RPGs. So, I just bring up random sort of work to keep us sort of eye candied while we're hanging out together. But this was my most recent commission, which probably a lot of you guys saw, which is Ice Wizard. But that isn't really what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about is how this helped me create Worlds. Now, the reason that I called this book Worlds is because that is the word to me that captures our hobby so quintessentially. We love world making. We love worlds in general. And that means large spaces. And you guys are just like me. You play RPGs, you have this huge world, and you explore 1% of it. Does that make the creation of those worlds less? No. No, it does not. You guys, I have created this vastly detailed world, and in 3 novels of writing, I have explored 1% of it. Does that make the world creation step less? Absolutely not, man. It is an awesome part of the hobby to dream up large bodies of concepts. And I think you guys probably all feel that with me, and I want you to feel it with me. And so the challenge that I gave myself, that you guys honestly kind of gave me in a way, was to do this exercise in a book. And a lot of times I have bought supplement books, I'm sure like you guys. And I'm reading through and I kind of say to myself, well, they didn't make a world though. They're kind of telling me what to do. I don't want to be told what to do. I wanted a world to play in. And I think it's a very elusive thing to find a world to play in. And I would actually argue that there are very few. I would say Rifts is one of them. I would say that Middle-earth is one of them. And I'd say maybe that Athos is one of them from Dark Sun. But they're very rare. It's a world that you feel you can improvise and you know you'll be okay. That's a world. Not a little set of stories, not a storyline, not telling me what to do or what happens next. I don't want that. What I want is a world. Thanks, Hunter. I appreciate that, man. Oh, wait, that's a drink right there for $5. I'd like to think we're way beyond that economy. Yeah, hey, JC, that isn't sad. That isn't sad. I think that a lot of time the most fun is the world building. And I have an interesting example before we really get into worlds, which is what I want to do as a Q&A tonight, because there's already a lot of questions from people reading the PDF. A perfect example of what J.C.T. Carpenter mentions is Trudvang. So Trudvang is an RPG from Sweden, I believe. And as you read through it, and there's a ton of books, there's like 9 books or some craziness, you realize that the world construction of Trudvang, which is the name, Trudvang is the name of the world, not the game. It's the world. And that is amazing. It's wonderful. It's dreamy. It's big. It's natural. It's scary. It's inspiring. And then you're like, hey, I think I want to roll up a character for this. No, don't do it. It's either poorly translated or I'm not sure what's wrong, but the minute it becomes mechanical, it becomes very, very taxing. And so then you move on and you learn more about the world. I found this to be a little bit true with Symbaroum as well. But it proves an interesting point, is that brilliant creative people are having fun making worlds. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to have fun making everything. We're not here to do everything well. And so if world building is something that our hobby, people that do our hobby really enjoy, then why not? Then why not? Then enjoy it. It doesn't have to become some outcome. The reason that I built this world was blah, blah, blah. It doesn't have to be that way at all. At all. So, I'll pop this little guy open. That's the transition that I wanted to do, is just, the hobby of dreaming up places is not assumed as a a step to something else. If all you do is dream up a place, great. Great. Tell your friends about it. Tell strangers about it. Who cares? It's this imagination is the difference between the troubles we see in the world today and the ideal that we want to be as people. And so we got to keep on dreaming. There's no outcome. All right. So with this challenge in mind, I wanted to dream up worlds. And I wanted to give this title to this book because I know it's a big title. It's like a very sort of like, lofty title. It's very daring to say, you guys, worlds, whoa, look at me. But it was a real big journey to do all the art and to also refine the writing and to also allow the space in the book to where you guys get to sort of finish and to find that line between, well, what's not enough and what's too much and so on and so forth. I think a good example of not enough is Dungeon World. They give you a great game mechanic, a fantastic set of classes, an outstanding combat mechanic, but then there's just no world. There's just nothing. And the audience, the readers, me included, had to create the world of Dungeon World. Now, I think that was Adam and Sage's design to do that. But to me, it left too much to the imagination. It asked too much of the reader. You do it, right? Too much. But not enough is something like Faerun, right? The Wizards of the Coast D&D world of our modern era, which says, here's all the shit, and here's everything that's happened for 10,000 years, and you just have to be crushed under the weight of Chult, because we wrote all the lore, so you just have to suck on it. No, that's not enough. I want to do more homebrew than that. But between those two is the place that I wanted to dwell. So we come to Icrpg Worlds, okay? I know I'm just like rambling and you guys are talking and it's awesome to have you guys. But I just need to get it off my chest because there's just so much energy, not only that I've put into the work, but that has occurred as we play through the work. There are specific questions that have already come up from people who have downloaded Worlds, which, by the way, thank all of you. It's a lot of you already, and it's really exciting to think that people are reading this work. It's really a good freaking feeling. Our hobby is so specific and so niche-y and so particular. It's like making a particular type of brandy, and it's a really good feeling to think that people are drinking that brandy. But there are some specific questions that I definitely want to address. And I also wanted to open up the floodgates for you guys to ask questions if you have the PDF and you've started reading and you've hit some snags. Sigorian, just go to drivethroughrpg.com and it's the #1 seller, so it's hard to miss. So I think the first and most detailed question, and I'm going to pretend like I didn't write this and read it 479 times, is about creating spells. So one of the things that I wanted to include in the more expanded rules is creating spells. And in Ghost Mountain, there's a class called the Mistress whose specialty is creating spells. Now, there are some interesting rules with creating spells, right? Involving taking damage and so on and so forth. I honestly don't want to answer the question. It's kind of like maybe you guys have played my game Ironheart. The negotiation on your terms of what the interpretation of the rules are is the fun. And so, yeah, you take some damage and it's 20 minus the blah, 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 right? What is creating a spell? Why has that been so off limits to us? Why can't we as RPG players create spells freely? By talking to the player who is the spellcaster and then say, well, how are we going to create this? What's it going to take? Well, maybe if I fail, I'll come up short and I'll take some damage because, the demons that are giving me the power, they lash out at me and so on and so forth, right? Why is it that the hobby has instructed us to think that we have to read everything out of the books that we have? Because no. What Worlds suggests, and the milestone paths, as well as some of the expansions to core, which if you haven't uploaded the latest core, please do so, is that creating spells should be part of the game. Part of the fun. We're in combat, and I realize I need this spell. I want to make it. I want to invent it. I want to call upon cosmic or demonic or angelic forces in this moment, right now, and I want to try to make this spell called Walk on Water or whatever. I want to work with my DM to do whatever it is we have to do. To me, the interesting challenge is not, well, how do we do that? No. The interesting challenge is, why not do that? Do we have simple enough mechanics in our game where we can just write a spell really quick? And if you don't, there's something a little bit off with your game. And I agree, Meme Hunter, I really agree about Blades in the Dark. It's brilliant the way that it uses description to catch words, to use them to drive clocks, and to drive challenge, and to drive risk. And you can do the same thing in Icrpg. And this is yet another reason to research multiple RPGs, no matter which one you happen to be playing. You know, so many people said, I love Icrpg, but I don't know if I'm going to be playing it at my table. That's great, man. Play 5e, play Blades, play GURPS, play Rifts, play Palladium, play MERP, play anything. But there is something here, which is now this is the second album. This Worlds has nothing to do with Icrpg. I mean, some of the terms are, of course, in Icrpg terms, but to tell you that something is +2 to a roll is not very hard to translate to any game. Okay, so that was the first big one, is the creation of spells and the specificity of the rules involved. It's a perfect question from a reader for me to bring up first, because it perfectly illustrates what I want to bring out. Which is, I don't know. I don't know the answers. I don't want to write those rules. If you want extensive rules, there are tons of games out there for you to play. But if you want a system that is more conducive to rule creation, I think there might be something here. Okay. Did that make sense? I hope it did. Man, it's great to have all you guys. I drink to you guys. You guys are awesome. Without you guys, I would not have this room to sit in. I would not have heat. I mean, think about that. So this is a muerto over here that you're seeing in my Photoshop. So in Ghost Mountain, you know, if you're not buried within 4 days of dying, you return as a muerto. And so there are tons of muertos on the mountains of people who have died and not been buried. And they are very hard to kill, but also very hard to heal. And you don't want to wind up a muerto. And you can ask any of my players from Ghost Mountain. They were muertos for like a week. It was absolutely awful. You know, you don't eat food and you're kind of desiccated. And, oh God, it's just horrible. So before we get into Ghost Mountain, let's not get ahead of ourselves. So I want to pretend for a moment, like I said before, that I didn't write this and read it 10 trillion times to make it as best I could. But the first big section you're going to get in Worlds is advanced characters. Now, the biggest critique that I've gotten for Icrpg, and it's a really freaking fair critique, is that the character progression is not detailed enough as written. Now, of course, your DM can introduce new detail, but as written, it's just not enough for a player to get excited and have something to sink their teeth into, to create builds, right? Making a super, like, min-maxed dope build is one of the big fun things about making a character, right? And so in advanced characters, there's milestone paths, and you can crisscross them and basically multi-class and create combinations of abilities that are going to create, I guess, what in old school RPG is called a synergy, right? It's where you get a combo that regenerates the roll for this other ability, and they hook together like Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Used to have these dope combos where he would do, you know, infinite mana, and then he would cast Karibo. And so he'd have like infinite Karibos, and they each have 1 hit point. Okay, that got really specific and really weird and really nerdy. But there it is. So, advanced character paths in Worlds, I think, give Icrpg a much more familiar character progression feel for people who've played other games. And so I invite you guys to check it out. And in the next month or 2 months, we're going to be seeing some live games and some other stuff that I'll be transmitting. Because I didn't do this stuff wantonly, not idly do the leaves of Lorien fall, right? I did this stuff with a lot of thought, and I really do think it's a contribution. Okay, so the second big piece is you get into the worlds. And those, as you guys know, are Alfheim, Fantasyland, Warp Shell, Science Fiction Land, and Ghost Mountain, which is maybe the most intriguing of them all, which is the supernatural Wild West. All 3 of the worlds in the book are written in different ways. So Alfheim is written as a sandbox. Warp Shell is written as a series of 36 adventures. And Ghost Mountain is written as an entire campaign. So wouldn't it be cool if the book was big enough to have a sandbox, adventures, and campaign for each of them? So that would be 9 big portions. But then I would have like a 600-page book, and I would be done in like 2021. And I didn't see that, A, as a weight that I could make, and B, something useful. Why not reveal the 3 methods of thinking? And if you want to make one-shots in Ghost Mountain, you kind of use the Warp Shell method. If you want to make a sandbox in Warp Shell, you use the Alfheim method, and so on and so forth. So there's not a ton of questions around that area. I think that everyone is still absorbing how crazy it gets. Yeah. Hey, Jay Del Mastro, I applied for the lead designer on their new world and did not get hired. So I'm totally okay with that. I imagine that I'm not an ideal candidate because I am self-employed, and that can be a huge ding against a future employee, and that's totally okay. Albin, do you think and enjoy the terrain making videos? Yeah, well, I absolutely love making terrain. I absolutely love making terrain. I don't even know what to say on that front. I mean, you should see my entire house. Yes, Albin, I'm working on Fire and Ice. I've been working on it for a month. I think people might underestimate the ease of making room design. It takes a lot of thought. It doesn't take a lot of time once you're ready. It takes about 2 days to make a good video. But the thought part, especially when you are publishing multiple books. By the way, my 3rd novel got done, and I'm publishing that soon. I just published this, and I also done a ton of personal shit happening. It's not easy, so it's not an apology. It's just a whoa. Hey, Kara Starger, I really appreciate that. So anyways, you guys, I think the main message I wanted to send is that I'm really, really proud of this. I really am happy about it. Especially going back and reading and finding things like Bartleby and stuff, and One Nasty Bastard, and some of the little tidbits in there that are easy to lose sight of when you're just trying to finish a book, and then to go back and read, and they really do feel human and like things that could be at a table, and that makes me feel pretty damn good. And you know, I said this Wednesday, but I deleted the video. Is like, I don't just do all this so that I can have revenue and stuff. I hope you guys know that about me. I have to do this. I have been on this trajectory my entire life, and now I have to. So this year, I've been lucky enough to be the player in several games rather than the DM, and it's giving me some space to really think about being a writer and really have fun. And I know the DM itch, boy, it's coming to get me bad. But in the meantime, I'm just going to be a player, and I think there's no better way, just as Tim said from Tabletop Terrors, there's no better way to be a DM than to be a player. So we're a little ways in. For half an hour, I just ranted and raved. I would love if you guys go grab a copy. Worlds will not be updated insanely fast like Core. So you can count on having a perfectly up-to-date Worlds hard copy when you order it. I will not be doing expansion packs for Worlds. Expansions are for Core. Core is the main rule book, and second edition for that is going to be coming, and then it'll stop changing. But we've put a 1-year playtest on Core, and so when second edition comes out, you can count on that not changing for a long time. Yeah, Lucas, you got to be a player, man. Don't settle for that anymore. Okay, so I'm going to pretend like I don't see any of this crazy, awesome chat that is happening. And then I kind of just got here. There's 120 of you guys here right now. That's so awesome. That's a huge stream. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. It's so great to have you. I'm just showing some of the artwork that comes with the new 1.3.5 Core. So any of you who bought Core, you're going to get all the new online stuff that goes with Ghost Mountain for free. Also, Volume 4 is coming with all the Ghost Mountain cards and all that kind of stuff. But, I don't want to sound like I'm plugging. That isn't the tone that I want to take. So, let's open it up, okay? I just want to drink for a while and answer you guys' questions. Hey, Brian, you're welcome, man. It's great to be here. I love Friday night and hanging out with everybody. I know everybody's probably got fun stuff going tonight. So, before it all starts, a little bit early, we can kind of hang out together. And yes, Skull from Portland. I'd love to get down there. I was going to go down for a con this summer in Portland with the Brotherhood of Intrepid Adventurers. Anyway, more on that later. Let's open this shit up, man. Plug your stuff. You need to eat. It's true. And I got that great $200 donation last month. And the new camera is finally ordered and it's on its way. So I'm going to get some Colville level camera work on this channel. Here we go. Question. Holy power in Ghost Mountain is listed as an int power. In Core, it's a whiz power. Cameron. Oh man, good one. So as we were building Jeb, we started moving almost all spells toward int. And you know what? It's still a turbulent area. And I would just open it up to the table. Do you want to use whiz or int? It's kind of like saying, do you want to use dex or strength to climb? I think it's similar. Do you want to use whiz or int to cast? And I think it's okay. I think it should be a little bit ambiguous. It's fucking magic, for Christ's sake. Magic is weird. Magic is strange. It's part heart and it's part mind. And I think it's up to the player if it's something they read out of a book or something they call upon. And so I would like to leave that to be ambiguous. But hey, Desert King, it's good to have you, man. That game last night was super freaking awesome, by the way. Not as dramatic as the Civil War. Okay, so yeah, running a new campaign, teaching. That's fantastic. I think you will have a hard time finding a book that is as easy to run a campaign out of as this one. Especially Warp Shell. The Warp Shell adventures in this book are ready to go. They are ready to go. And Alfheim is a bit more of a sandbox, so it doesn't give you exact little stories. But Warp Shell, I think, gives you a template for writing your own stories, either for Ghost Mountain or for Alfheim. And that was actually the hardest part of the book, besides the art, was finishing all the Warp Shell adventures. Because each one is its own little story. And it is not easy to come up with 36 stories. Hey, Hank, I wanted to stop by and thank you for inspirational stuff for Scalagrim. Oh, man. Miniman. Wow, that is a flashback. For those of you who don't know, Scalagrim is one of my favorite YouTube channels. He got in a bike accident last year, and I really related to that. And he recovered really well. But hey, Miniman, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah. I mean, maybe it isn't stylish or a recipe for success or anything, but I really do feel for other people in a lot of ways, and kind of care about other people and want to make more and more friends across the world. And it's really tough when you see them get hurt. I mean, it's really freaking tough if you care about a person. So, I don't know. Sandbox DM. Oh, man. Okay, so Chuck. Oh, Chuck, what's up? Chuck's one of my favorite peeps from the Midwest, the Great White North. So, Alfheim as a sandbox. Why is it a sandbox? Each kingdom, there's 16 of them in Alfheim. What I give you is not adventures, but I give you dungeon maps, I give you travel conditions, I give you friendly NPCs, I give you not friendly NPCs, and then environmental dangers and monsters. And so the idea would be that you could have players just moving through the world and just encountering this stuff and be ready. Oh man, DM Steve cracking my favorite Coors Banquet. Oh, one of the best beers of all time, and I will not hear otherwise. I mean, besides the champagne of beers, which is another fantastic one. The truth is, we live in a golden age, a freaking paradise as far as beer goes nowadays. It's a wonderful world. And who would have ever thought that? You don't see any movies from the 80s where it portrays the 2020s as a paradise for beer. No, they're all poopy pants in their attitude about the future. I'm excited for milestones, says Renegade. By the way, Renegade, thanks for all your contributions. The guys in my Star Wars ICRPG have been bugging me to level up. Oh, yeah. So, leveling up. Hey, David, thank you, man. Here's to you. Leveling up is a thing that was definitely missing from ICRPG, right? But it wasn't. It was never missing. It just wasn't written. And what it did was it challenged DMs and players to say, hey, I think I need to level up right now. Let's talk about this. Milestone reward, or multiple milestone rewards, or let's invent one, or let's roll on a loot table, or anything. I think the idea that leveling up is written for you is old and annoying and outdated. You want more hit points? You're like, man, I hate ICRPG because I never get any more hit points. Then take another Hearthstone, man. Level up, get a Hearthstone. And screw leveling up, you just hit a milestone. You won over the village, take a Hearthstone. It's a really simple decision. I think it's just the mind change that the game is yours. That's what I always want to tell people. The game is yours. You just go with it. What about translations? Oh my gosh, Nicholas. So not only are these very difficult to do, they have almost no revenue associated with them. Now here's a little interesting tidbit. The RPG market in the United States dwarfs the RPG market in other countries. Dwarfs. And not only is this a point of pride for the United States, I'm really happy there's that many crazy RPG nerds in America, but it's just the scale of it is so much bigger. It's hard to really put a lot of investment into other countries when you're a company of my size, which you're looking at my entire company. This is it. I don't even have a table back there anymore. Look at this. Look at this room. We could break dance in this room right now. Well, if I pan down, you can see my Cthulhu Wars minis. Oh, there they are. Okay, anyway. I haven't revealed all that stuff yet. There's just not a really compelling reason to do alternate language versions when you're a company of my size. So I hope that I can expand in time, but it's really hard to put the work in at my level. Still light and dry enough to skate. Yeah, dude, go skateboard, man. Come back and watch later. I've been giving the milestones and made up myself. I was trying to make them very excited to see what they... Yeah. And I want to add more plans, or more paths, as the core expands, because I want to put milestone paths in there specific to Warp Shell and Alfheim in the core. They don't live in worlds, they live in the core, and I want to do that as a future expansion. But I expect everyone out there to be thinking, ooh, I want to make a milestone path. Now you're thinking, the game is yours. Power Armor. Oh my God, Francis Thuo, thank you for the segue. Next week, we're going to be playing The Fall of Arnor, which is my hosting game for my immortal patrons from Patreon, and it is all about Power Armor, so stay tuned. What about the dogs? Are they employees? Absolutely not. They don't do any freaking work, and they do not get paid except in food, and then they just turn that into poop anyway, so no, they are eye candy. I love the videos, but not only that, you're an all-around great person, Zexel. Thank you, man. I appreciate that shit. I really do. No Klingon translation. Oh my God, that's a brilliant idea. Rin. Barak nach. Rin. Barak nach. Rin. Rin is Klingon for over. From Russia with love. Oh my gosh, man. Yeah. Small-minded folk in our time want us to think that the United States and Russia are somehow enemies. We are not enemies. We are friends, man. And it's true of everyone they want to think is enemies. We're not enemies. Some of our leaders may be enemies, but all our people are friends. And I stand by those damn words to the bitter end. The vast majority of humanity is all good to go with each other. Do not forget it as they try to trick you into thinking someone is your freaking enemy. They are not. They're your friend. So yes, cheers to Mother Russia. Damn, what a beautiful nation. And you guys have cool military tech too. Wait, I saw a good question up there. Can you explain the milestone paths like multipathing and the difference between tiers? Great question. So it's very simple. You only need 2 rewards from a tier to go to the next tier. So you can cross all the paths and dabble. But you'll have a hard time getting to the higher tiers because you'll be dabbling with your rewards. It's that simple. If you want to stay in a path, you're going to climb really fast. If there was another genre you'd like to touch with ICRP, oh my God, Chuck, you dirty bird with your dirty questions. I answered this question somewhat cagily a couple weeks ago, or was it about a week ago? Yes, I do have a 4th setting, and I am getting ready to do it. I think it's going to be a part of the expansions on Core for 2nd edition. It's called Blood and Snow, and it's a prehistory world setting. It's Ice Age. And it's taken more work and it's been more challenging than all the others for me. You know, maybe just because of my personal chemistry, but I wanted it to be very particular. You guys know that I'm an anthropology, I have an anthropology degree, and I'm very particular about Blood and Snow, and I really want it to represent prehistoric people in a freaking badass way. And I found it challenging. I don't think we have a lot of tropes and stereotypes around those people that are positive. And I want to make them positive. I want to make them awesome people. So, and I'm not talking about like pyramid times. I'm talking about 50,000 BC. I'm talking about our true roots as a race, as a species, when we changed from Neanderthalensis to Cro-Magnon. And where that happened and what it had to do with limestone topography and what it had to do with hunting and how those populations intermixed. You know, some Clan of the Cave Bear shit. So there you go. Yeah, Murder Hobo Show is super fun, man. You guys got to check that podcast out. It's so easy to listen to. Where would the beer come from? Beer is actually one of the oldest inventions next to face paint in the human race. Now that is, of course, presupposing stone tools, which helped us become hominids. But some of the oldest archaeological evidence we have of human invention include face paint, stone tools, and sorghum beer. So do your homework on that. But people have been slurping fermented puddles since the absolute beginning because, I mean, think about it. Fuck yeah, right? Yep, Blood and Snow. Blood and Snow is going to be great. It's just going to take some time because I want it to be very particular and I'm very specific about it. No, there's no freaking dinosaurs. That would be a complete insult to everything that our ancestors faced. I called Dennis Leary. You can be Ray Ramon. Keep your ears open for an icy... Yeah. And I want to appear with Gary and Victor whenever possible on Murder Hobo. So anytime you guys want to invite me, if it's like a Sunday night, let's hang out. Let's do that podcast. Let's make that podcast the destination for ICRPG podcast listeners. Let's do that. I hope that this game has enough to talk about that we can talk about it for a few years. I mean, I didn't do this wantonly. Not idly do the leaves of Lorien fall, right? I set out on a mission to really make a game that would last and that would make people's other games good, that would help with GURPS, that would help with 5e, that would help with Rifts, that would help with Palladium, that would help with TMNT, that would help with Savage Worlds. Do you want to tip your toes into the Neolithic, Kara Steiger? Oh my goodness, here's a person who can really ask a question. I recognize you too. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. In Blood and Snow, the Stone Age is different. It's sort of the anchor of time, and I've actually warped some of how and why things began. And I can't say too much because it's not quite poetic enough, so I have to hold myself. But I love the word Neolithic. It's wonderful, but I think it's beyond that. What would be a good focus of good and evil? Okay, great. So you're already looking forward to the next 2 books. Those 2 books are going to wait until everyone is satisfied. So I know that some of you guys are coming a little bit late into buying Core, right? And so you're like, hey, how come Core is already outdated and my PDF has stuff that my print copy doesn't, and so on and so forth? That because we're living in a living game right now. The players are improving the game and I'm improving the game. So when Core starts to stabilize and Worlds has plenty of support, and I imagine this being about a year or more away, then Good and Evil are coming. And I have a lot of notes on Good and Evil, and I don't want to talk about them yet because it's too soon. Can you talk about encounter balance? My players have 10 life and can be accidentally TPK. Yes. I don't fudge roll or HP for monsters. Yes. Shay McCormick, I do not believe in the concept of encounter balance. The world is terribly deadly, just like in the real world. It is up to the players not to think, oh, this is balanced, we can just be dumb and charge in and attack. Players kill themselves. Encounters do not kill players. I will not bend on this issue. Do not balance your encounters. You have a freaking dragon that is ridiculously overpowered for your 10 hit point characters, then they damn well better have a plan. There is no such thing as encounter balance. It is spoiled people playing video games and thinking this is a video game. It is not. If you anger the chief of an orc village and there's 3 of you and 300 of them, it's not a balanced encounter. They're going to beat you to shit, chain you up, and hang you from a cliff while the vultures pick out your guts. So, players need to adapt to the immutability of your world, that the world is real. And when they do that, the wonder of it will become more, and the terror and the gravity of their decisions will matter more. Encounter balance is a dumb concept introduced by video games, which have no adaptability, by the way, no social presence, and no role play. And the concept of encounter balance has no place in RPGs. No place. Go watch Dragon Slayer from 1981, my favorite Disney movie of all time. There's no encounter balance. You want to mess with a dragon, you are fucked. Period. What you need is a plan. Any more room design videos? Patrick Fraley, great question. Yes, Fire and Ice, one of my biggest room design videos I've ever done. I've been working on it for a month, and I'm really proud of it. It's finally an epic level room design video, which I have not done yet. So for level 12 to 20. Stone axes and woolly mammoth riding. I would like to think that there were some of our ancestors that dared to try to ride the great ones. Those were species that coexisted, so you know how people are. TPKs are supposed to be fair, though. What does fair mean when everyone dies? What is fair? Is fair that you could have won because the math was okay? Is it fair when you're riding on a plane and it crashes and everyone is killed? Is it fair that all of you but one drops and the one manages to raise all the others a few times to barely scrape out of the encounter? Is it fair that the enemies are doing about the same damage I am? I don't think there is a concept of fair except one, which is that you cannot fudge the dice. That is the fairness. And yeah, Doggo's back there. Wait, which way do I lean? There he is. Coon Dog. I'm really sorry that this is my view, but I can't bend, because if I bend, then my virtue, it will no longer be true. There is no fair. This is a world of terrors and monsters. They're not pulling punches so that you don't die. It's up to you to believe the danger is real and to react, not to be a spoiled kid from MMO culture who thinks, don't worry, these are level 5 mobs. We got this. No. And I don't mean to say that youth nowadays is somehow a ding against people. Young people are freaking awesome. They're the lifeblood of the hobby. But video games and RPGs on tabletop are not the same thing, and never should they be the same thing. Never. Video games use a computer to give you predetermined outcomes. We play a social game, a story game. And it's brutal as well as gentle. Man, that one makes me want to drink. That gets me excited. You know, and I don't mean it like it's cool to kill people. You know, it's a common trope about the DM that he's somehow sadistic, that he enjoys or she enjoys killing players, you know, and being this big troll and stuff. No. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying, if there's a freaking elder red dragon, a crystal dragon in your world, and your players have been playing for 5 sessions, and they go and say, hey, give us the frickin' magic sword, a-hole. That encounter is not balanced. Now, a TPK is not the only way to deliver fear. There's nuance, and there's subtlety, and there's gentleness in the hand of the dungeon master and the players. They know when they're taunting. You guys all know this stuff. You ever go to the Midwest beyond Gen Con? Hey, yeah, sure, there's some things in the works this year, but I can't talk about them yet because I've been sworn to secrecy by my mentor. Killed my party in half for your... About to start Tridvang. Hey, great, man. Good luck. Let me know what's up, Park. Yeah, the DM is always the player's biggest fan. They love to hear wonders unfold. But they also can't make a world that bends. If the world isn't true and consistent, it's all a lie. How did you come up with the archetypes, Victor? Hey, that's a great question, man. Thank you. So I actually did some different ones. And then my proofreader crew kind of helped me to see a little further. And really, I think those archetypes, you mean play styles, I think. Well, and archetypes, they both play into the advanced character section. I think it's just from seeing so many players over the years. And you know, I have to admit, you guys, since I started YouTube, I have learned at a geometric rate about being a DM. I really have. And I know that playing at a table, there's nothing that replaces it, right, for your social skills. But I am in a place of privilege with the channel, with the number of messages and details that I receive about other people's games. I really have a lucky position where I'm able to absorb the details about literally hundreds of tabletop games. And it gives me a context that lets me develop patterns and see patterns like a profiler. Does that make sense? Cameron, get out of here with your $5, man. Okay, fine. For those of you who don't know, Cameron is my dungeon master on Thursday nights, and he's just being a troll. A big, beautiful $5 troll. That's what he's being. What's your favorite ICRPG archetype? probably the Spearhead, because it's who I often play. I love a player that wants to drive the game. Drive it, drive it, drive it. No waiting, no dilly-dallying, and also no small thinking. No compromise, no little goals. They want the big goals, and they want them now on their terms. Oh, man, I love a player that has that. And then when the other players rally around them, they take over the game. And as they take over the game, your role as the Dungeon Master becomes complete, which is that you're a reactor, not a proactor. So, show the Ragnarok tattoo. Yeah, they're almost all healed up. There it is, Ragnarok. Check that out. Oh man, did I underestimate Ragnarok? Good God, you guys. And on Wednesday night, the very emotional statement I was talking about, be very careful when you dare the gods to meet them in battle at the end of time, because more has changed in my life in the last 6 weeks than in the last 6 years. And I'm not being hyperbolic. It has been a transformative experience, to say the least. And I'm really glad to be here for you guys. And most of all, I'm really excited to be able to know that people are reading my work. And that is what I'm excited about. How do you like the new Critical Role campaign? It's cool. I mean, it's still very, very early. They're like, at the circus having conversations. I do think that the cameras and the acting and the set is affecting their game. I do think that. And I've always thought that. And I think it's more prevalent at the beginning of their games than the end. But the acting factor is probably beyond what normal groups would do, but it's their brand of D&D, so freaking rock on. I mean, they're wonderful to watch. God, they're fucking funny. Oh, and they're just brilliant. Mercer is just brilliant. Ship the Warp Shell knows where to go, and yeah, that's correct. M73, yes, the Warp Shell goes where it wants, and you cannot pilot a Warp Shell. It's a crustacean. It's a creature that goes where the cosmos is in danger. And especially you should read the adventure called is it called World of Lies? Hang on, I'm actually using the book, you guys. I think it's right at the beginning. Oh, here it is. The Ghosts of Zevos. So if you look on page 76, the adventure called Tortured Souls. So in Tortured Souls, it reveals how the warp shells are created and why they are these living ships that know where to go. And actually, it's fucking terrible, and you need to do something about it. So short answer, yes. Long answer, get Worlds and help the warp shells, because they are really tortured beings. Yeah, Murder Hobo, it's exactly. It travels speed of the plot. It presents you with a new riddle every week. It's the Enterprise that you can't fly. Hey, yeah, Troy, I am going to complete the novel of Burning in New Haven, and it's going to go into the Pine Ocean next. It's just I needed a month to work on Worlds and to finish. So I know that Patreon and the audio stories have been slowed, and I'm sorry about that, but luckily you guys are so awesome that my patronage has not decreased at all. But the Burning in New Haven has only begun. I mean, when they warp out of the gladiatorial arena, that's just the beginning. Damien, I don't care what question you ask. If it has the word trust and gnomes in it, the answer is no. Yeah, I'm a player. Game over. I'm a player all year. So I'm a player in Cameron's Cryfoth game. I am a player in our Icrpg group on Tuesday. I'm going to be a player at AtCon. I'm a player all year. I'm just getting back to the roots of making characters, playing, and being myself. And I think Cameron can speak to this, but I had a great time last night being my character, being Scar. Scar the Stone is his new sort of nickname. And, I think having fun being your character is a sign of a great dungeon master. when they let you have that time. And I had a blast last night being Scar. I love the character of Scar. I'm having so much fun with him. I never want him to die. Yeah, so Kara Steiger, Burning in New Haven, when I finish with all the audio stories, which maybe will be the end of 2018, I am going to compile it and I'm going to publish that novel because that's what my patrons deserve. So if you want to help me with that effort, please jump over to Patreon. But that is the goal. It's the 4th Runehammer novel, is A Burning in New Haven, which was chosen by the patrons. They chose what I was going to write next. Yeah. Cameron had serious feels. You know, it just goes to show that the world that you're in and the game system you're playing, they're just so subservient to one fundamental and unshakable truth, which is the characters and the players and the people that are playing, and how their chemistry works and who they are, and that is the game. Out of Cauldron, no such thing as a dumb question. Are we cool to publish Worlds Adventures in drive-thru? Absolutely. If you look on Google+, you'll see the rules. Really, the only thing that's kind of off limits is to hack my art. Everything else is great. You just need to show the Icrpg badge, and you're good to go. Yeah, oh, Troy Small. I can't wait for Burning to be done. So I have written part 4. It's just I haven't recorded it and stuff yet. But, oh my God, the ritual when they appear in the Pine Ocean and everything, it's just goddamn epic. I just can't wait. And what happens with Chain and everything, I'm really excited for everybody to find out, you know, who these characters really are. Tunnels and Trolls is awesome for one. Yeah, Tunnels and Trolls is just awesome on multiple levels. Thoughts on running a game for one person? Mike Justice, you got a problem with supervillains? You call Mike Justice. Yes. So Mike Justice, this has been on my mind in more ways than one, and it's actually my biggest project for 2018. So I know that you guys have heard me talk about a lot of things I want to do this year, but the biggest, most expansive thing I'm working on is the Path of Doom books. And these are choose your own adventure books, and they're meant to be played by yourself. And I'm almost done with the first one, and I'm extremely excited about it. It's called Nomads of Scar, and I don't even know how to say it, but you guys' support on Patreon, on YouTube, everywhere, it's making writing so fun. It's so fun to write and then to see it all ignite that I just want to write more and more and more and more. So I just keep expanding and trying to push further. So if you guys see less videos on YouTube, I am sorry about that. It's because you guys know my mission. I wanted to be a writer this whole time. And so I want to keep going with YouTube, and I think that's important. But I can't wait for people to play Nomads of Scar. I say no more. It's gonna be fantastic. I'm just not sure when I'm gonna be done, but I'm so excited about it. I've played through the first half of it several times, and I keep getting the different outcomes and stuff. It's just really exciting. Element Nero, I am doing commissions. I closed my gates there for a few days because I wasn't sure, because I had a lot of work, but I had a huge week and finished all of it. So yeah, the gates are always open. Just email me at hankerin.fernail@gmail.com, and we can set up your project. So it's just a matter of what you're dreaming up, and the rates are variable, the style is variable, the subject matter is variable. It's all just depending on what you're dreaming up and how you're going to use the artwork. Oh man, Pax Tharkus. Oh, that is a deep cut. Oh, Justin Wiley. That is a deep cut, dude. Props to you, man. Pax Tharkus. Holy crap. Nomads of Scar, you can use dice to track. There are no dice rolls, let me say that. Found you and Icrpg through DM videos. They are gold. Hey, thanks, man. And that's why I want to keep doing them. I really think that YouTube is my garden where I grow my carrots, and I want to keep growing carrots there. You know, I don't care at all. I'm going to remain calm. Hey, Stephen McGee, thanks, man. I appreciate that a lot. I hope you enjoy it. You know, like, page through that PDF and wait for your paperback to come, and I really hope you have fun with Worlds. I think there's more gameplay in Worlds than you could be able to play in 5 years. I think there's a lot there. It's more a matter of which do you want to play. And I really recommend that people play One Nasty Bastard. Please play that adventure. Please play it. And use power armor and use chunks, use vehicles, use the Zurin, use a warp shell, and play One Nasty Bastard. Do a one-shot and tell me what you think. I'm really proud of how simple and fun that adventure is. Punisher, yeah. Remain calm. I owe those puns to someone else. They know who they are, and I'm not going to mention their name. They get to be a mamamas. God, Vitas, you blow my mind. All right, come on, hit me, guys. It's only 5. I was going to hang out at least till 6. Just keep it coming, because I'm just drinking. I don't give a shit. I'm cracking my head trying to use power armor for 40k. Well, you got an easy. You have an easy thing. You need a bolter. That's a chunk, right? Which is a huge mechanical arm that holds a bolter, and it's a massive ranged weapon that probably does ultimate. Maybe fires 3 rounds at a time. You have a chunk that's a chain sword. You have a chunk that's armor, which counts as like 20 disposable armor. You have a chunk which is like a jump jet. And all these chunks can be destroyed as battle unfolds, and this is what Fall of Arnor is all about. Any plans to do, another index card volume set? Yeah, Jason, volume 4 is the Ghost Mountain set. What mead pairs best with Icrpg? Well, besides homemade stuff, probably Hidden Legend Huckleberry. Could Icrpg be adapted to pirate? Absolutely, but I won't do it. I'm not a pirate writer. What do you think is the best way to play a wizard in 5e? It is to theme your wizard around a singular concept. And that can be a glowing dagger or a ball of ice or a black heart or a doll. What is the essential element that defines a Western? It's the technology level, the romance. That's it. It's the tech and the romance. Which of 3 settings you created are your favorite to play? It's Alfheim still. I'm a child of fantasy. You know, I love fantasy role-playing. And so, hell yeah. Yeah, Victor, I was also a pro DJ for a long time. Hey, Dave, what's up, dude? You know how thankful I am for that banner. Dave Ism, by the way, if you guys don't know, made that awesome Runehammer banner back there. It's just like spray-painted stencil amazingness that he made for me out of the kindness of his heart. So he also, I think, does some work for people. I don't know, but you should hit him up. Check out Ism, IZM. Hidden Relics in Needlehenge. Oh, my God. Absolutely, there's a chance. Oh, Needlehenge. Oh, my God. Yes! I love it. If you want to play Pirates and Icrpg, start 50. Yeah, I also like 7 Seas, and I like 50 Fathoms too. I looked at it ever since Gary mentioned how cool it was. There's plenty of free research you can do. There is a bit of cosmic horror in Icrpg. Yeah, there really is. If I went into another thing beyond Blood and Snow, it would definitely be like a Lovecraft thing, like in Beneath the Door. I really think that there's a lot of promise there. And I think it's generally a genre that is dabbled in by those that maybe don't fully appreciate or get what makes that genre work, because it's not giant monsters. I think my reading of Call of Cthulhu, I hope that you guys listen to that, you know, and I think that hearing it read aloud is a way to really see into the genre. How you looked at Middle-earth for 5e. Great Marshal and Mechanic System, Dark Fantasy World. That's where I'm running Burning New Haven. Yeah, that's a great idea. Great coupling there. Like that's fish and white wine right there. Are there vehicles in Worlds? No, the vehicles are in the expanded version of Core. TIE Fighter would be probably a 5-chunk vessel. You would have the 2 shield panels, you'd have the cockpit, and 2 blasters. So there's 5 chunks, and each has 10 HP, like of ship HP if you want, or you can make it normal HP if like a blaster can shoot a TIE Fighter, which is how I prefer it. and then you use how many chunks versus how many chunks to do ramming, and it's very simple. Yeah, I'm really proud of Beneath the Door. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that, man. Would you recommend Worlds as a good tool to help learning how to DM? No. Trekkie Tribble, Core is the tool that's going to help you DM. Worlds is going to give you all the stuff. But how to DM, that's much more, take a look at Core. Take a look at 13th Age. Take a look at Dungeon World. Those things help you be a good DM. Yeah, I don't really even... Cosmic Horror is a bit of a misnomer. I think Lovecraft would spin in his cosmic grave to think about that term. What's the best way to get players who are used to it to get away from crunchy D&D? Chuck, the best way to do it is to sneak it. They won't even know you're doing it. Just like Cameron did in our game. Start introducing the room target, start introducing timers, and then remove XP, and then start removing guaranteed level rewards and replace them with milestones, and then start removing distance and replace it with near and far, stuff like that. Stealth, dude. Stealth. Because if you even say it, they're already on the brink of what they think is cool. I mean, let's face it, you guys. D&D is growing exponentially right now, right? The hobby is popular just like skateboarding was in the early 90s. Like, all the skateboarders were pissed. What this means is, yes, it's a great proliferation, but it also means there's a lot of casual people entering and dabbling right now. If they think they're into like the garage version of D&D, they're going to be repelled. So they're playing D&D. That's why I always refer to all tabletop games as D&D, because no one gets repelled. Now, exactly what mechanics you use, well, as a DM, you research all kinds of things. You're a genius. But they're playing D&D. Let them be comfortable and tell their friends that they played D&D. Hey, Hank. A new DM, and I always keep your key mechanics in my book to build rooms. Well, thanks, Josh. Hey, man, I still build 3 Ts, everything I build. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's how I make my encounters. And Joshua, yes, you really should get the quick start rules, Joshua. They're totally free. Get the quick start rules. It's a free PDF on drive-thru. No investment required, and you can decide if it's anything interesting for you. It's the core of the rules, all there for free. And if you want to help out, then jump in and get the core and get Worlds. The Me Too movement is complete nonsense. Okay, we got one of these guys. Whatever, dude. I have to say, Hanker Inferno and Grrm are solely responsible for me even entertaining Lovecraft. The crunchiness of D&D. Yeah, and you know, a lot of people have fun with the crunchiness. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, Pathfinder, a lot of people have fun with that. Rock on. Play whatever game you like. It's okay. Cons are just starting to come together, Dave. Not quite sure which ones, but yeah. Con season's a little way off. Let me not think about that quite yet. Oh yeah, Poe is fantastic. Just a very different flavor. Oh man, yeah, Nomads of Scar is going to be nuts. So look up Scar in the World's book, and that's where it takes place. Thoughts on 2nd edition? Oh my god, my favorite edition. You mean AD&D, mofo? Rules Cyclopedia and AD&D, that's where I live. Fiend Folio, Spelljammer. Oh, that is where I live. That's where I learned. That's where I came out of my crazy hack fest, which started with Rifts and GURPS and Palladium and Fantasy Hero. But all that's on the podcast with Gary and Victor. We talked about all that great stuff. What kind of material do I need to make pawns like the Pathfinder ones? Oh, dude, that's so hard to print on that stuff. Good luck. Just use cardstock and get yourself a scroll saw. You gave me the courage to leave my so-called dream job. Find my real dream. Well, hell, man, I hope that's working out, dude. I mean, it's not always easy. That's for sure. Can you add a tumbleweed treant? No, but you can. You guys probably noticed Icrpg does not have a lot of monsters because I know that DMs are good at making monsters. Make your monsters. Own it. Is Dune worth my trouble? Yes. Dune is fucking brilliant. I don't even care which version of Dune you're talking about. It's freaking awesome. Oh, yes. The Mind Flayer ships in Spelljammer are goddamn wonderful. Do you play any board games besides RPGs? Yes, I do, Luca. I have a weekly board game night. We just played The Thing, which is a great board game. We've been playing Zombicide. We're going to play Photosynthesis and some other ones. But, yeah, you know how this hobby is. You mentioned core rules are slowing down in frequency. Any new rules in testing? Murder Hobo, no. You have the absolute latest shit. We have stopped fluctuating, and I have not heard any significant recommendations for quite some time. The removal of learning and the changing of Don't Die On Me Man and the changing of the volatile tag were the biggest and most final feeling changes. Yeah, I don't even care if you're talking about Dune novels, movies, board games, freaking cosplay. If it's Dune, I want in. By the way, where is all the stillsuit cosplay? What the fuck? Favorite CRPG? What's a CRPG? Would you be open to streaming Zombicide? No, not at all. I don't stream my friends. They never signed up to be public figures, and I don't think that's right. Spellbook change. Oh my god. Exploding magic. Thank you, Jason Scranton. Yeah. So those of you who know the core, the exploding magic dice, it really, I'm not a real mage player, and so I think my game writing can underplay mages, but I think that rule makes mages freaking awesome. Yeah, was that Prophets of Dune? Or Children of Dune? I really like the second one too. Oh, computer RPG. Well, I played WoW plenty. But no, I don't really play video games anymore. I worked on video games for 20 years, and I've been deeply immersed in video games, and I'm done. I worked very hard to escape them. Yeah, exploding dice are wonderful. If you guys haven't seen that update, it's not my idea either. That comes from several other games, including 13th Age. And oh man, what a wonderful, wonderful game mechanic. Hang on, guys. I think I got a dog bio problem. I'll be right back. Outside. So naturally, he just walks out on the patio and stands there. I'm a dog. Fear is the little death that brings total annihilation. I will let the fear pass through me. When the fear is gone, nothing will remain. Anyway. Hey, tabletop. Oh, dang. TT in the place to be. Yeah, man, it's a good Friday night. We're just kind of talking about worlds. We're kind of talking about RPG sort of theory and philosophy. We're talking about everybody's... Oh, hear that? It sounds like Geraldo's on the move. Anyway. You guys, Tabletop Terrors, I have a feeling is about to freaking arrive. So if you guys didn't get Oath of Frozen King, go buy it on their site. Just don't even think about it. Go buy it. It's a brilliant book. And I wouldn't say that about everything. I love those guys, but that book is really worth having in your collection. Yeah. Okay, so there's this whole controversy about with Icrpg Core that the hard copy is behind the PDF, right? Ooh, oh, I'm so injured. You wouldn't even know that it was incomplete if you didn't have the mega updated PDF. And so what I would suggest is to embrace the wonder of this technology where I can update and work on my book. And it's so much better than it was when it first came out. You have a collector's edition. Think of it that way. And when second edition comes out, please continue to show up and support and get a much more stable book. We have been doing a 1-year, 5,000 player playtest on Icrpg. That's really what this has become. And that second edition is really going to matter and I think hold. And that's when we're going to go more toward Amazon, and we're going to try to reach a bigger audience. But this little drive-through audience these are the badasses. These are the OGs. I know that Kickstarter is cool, but this is cooler. Cratera. Ooh, that sounds like a Metroid level. Just purchased my Corn World softcore. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate that, King. What's up? What else do I see up here? Humbug? Who's saying humbug? David? What's wrong? You ever read Pendragon? Yes, it's amazing. Wayward Son. Yep, it'll be 60 pages short, and it's going to be more short than that by the time second edition arrives. So brace yourselves for wanton, amazing updates to your PDF. I mean, you guys also realize that I'm dealing my books over Icrpg, which is primarily a PDF site. I mean, the hard and soft cover sales are maybe 15%. So, yeah. But the beauty of it is, all of you guys have supported me to create a way better book, and that's going to be that second edition book. Think about this, too. In D&D days, you bought third edition, and in 8 months there was 3.5. How angry are you right then? I mean, it's another $200. I'm not evil because I pointed out another evil. Have you ever played Rifts using Icrpg? Oh my god, Victor! Show me the way. How do we do this? And I don't want to put up with any glitter boy bullshit. I just want power armor, ley line, freaking dark god combat badassery. I want in. I want Rifts the world, but with Icrpg rules using chunks and power armor. That's all I'm saying. SDF 1 just comes floating down right as like all the dark elves are pouring out of the fucking portal. Okay, sorry, I got a little... That sounds fucking awesome, by the way. Holy shit. And then Rick Hunter like jumps out of his fucking Veritech, but he's like 70 years old. Because they went through a wormhole. They've actually been away from Earth for like 2 years, but in their time it's been only almost like 90 years or so. Oh, don't even get me started with the Invid, dude. Do not even say that. Oh, Icrpg Invid versus Rifts. Admiral Hunter. Oh my god, yes. You see, this is it. This is RPG. This is a tabletop that I could play at. Yes, Justin Wiley, get the Ragnarok Synthwave. Just search those 2 words on YouTube and you'll get one of the best RPG mixes you could ever hope for. Oh my god, you want a journal walkthrough video, Michael? You are spoiled. I got a 1,200 page journal. I am maybe a quarter of the way through it. This thing is massive. You're going to have to wait another year. But I stand by that. There's no fine wine before it's time. God, I hope my journals are... God, that was a stupid, egotistical thing to say. So I ordered a pack of Icrpg playing cards. Yeah, I have like 4 packs of them. I really like them, but I mean, they're kind of my thing. They're not really themed to any particular thing. They're just kind of like a yeah, this is fun kind of thing. But they are in 4 suits, so you can play concentration with them. Or themes, not just suits, but themes. I don't know what Twilight 2000 is. That sounds amazing. God damn it, now I'm shopping for Rift's book. Hey, be careful, Chuck. Be careful, because there's like 40 of them. But good lord, is it a bitchin' ass world. Oh my god, it is badass. Maybe try Savage Rifts as one of the most boiled down versions, so you can really get the main line. Oculus Sculpts. David, nope. I've abandoned it. I've abandoned that technology. The output was not good. It was not worth it. It was really bad. So ZBrush outputs great data, like Sean Sutter does over at Relic Blade. Oculus just medium pushes out the worst output data. So it's really fun to use, and it just goes nowhere. I'm sure there are people that are figuring it out and everything, but I'm not interested. It puts me in my own little world, and it's weird. I'd much rather spend time talking to you guys or to my friends. I miss Rifts. Oh man, goddamn beautiful. I would buy a printout of your journals. So Dave, I tried to do some of this stuff where I scanned it and stuff. It's just not. It's not viable. There are hundreds of pages and they don't look that good scanned, and it just doesn't work. I liked it as an idea. It felt very lo-fi, but nah, it's just kind of garbage. Ironheart is a sort of a product support dead end. Shiloh, I'm not going to mod or improve or change or add or comment upon Ironheart. Ironheart is done and over. I just needed to get it out of my system. I really love playing it. Everyone I play with, they want to remove or add certain cards and they want to change certain rules, and then they like to play over and over. And that game is done. I just did that for fun. The way I priced it too, that I earn like 50 cents per each copy of Ironheart that sells. So Ironheart is just a labor of love, and it's just going to go be out there. Casualty, fair play to all you hardcore fellows. I brought this more mainstream. I never knew what I was missing. Yeah, Howard Jackson, man, welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to D&D land. Welcome to the hobby. Welcome to all this shit. We are good hosts here. We love all newcomers to the hobby. More the merrier, man. No one ever found the journal that I lost at Gen Con. I don't know what happened to it. And the only thing I really lost in there that I miss is the Cathedral of Xeno. It's the huge dungeon that I designed when I was on the road. Oh, Star Frontiers! Oh, Star Frontiers. Yeah, you look back, it's a little rough, but man, was it cool. Thanks for the great content. Thanks, Viz. Hey, thanks, Will. I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that shit. How often are you live? Troy, I don't live on a schedule as far as being live and stuff. I do it when I really do feel that I can be present and happy and here and have a drink with you guys. I don't do it because it's Friday afternoon or something. I really believe that is the death of YouTube and of a personality, so to speak, on YouTube, is to do things on a schedule. I do it when my emotions feel that the time is right. Can you explain the art for newcomers? Huh. Explain the art. Well, I mean, there's fantasy, there's Wild West, there's sci-fi. It's, I'm not sure what to explain. Did they make another Mechanoids book for Rifts? I don't think so. Although there's at least 2 of every single book. Message retracted. Hey, can't say. Thanks for being awesome. Looking forward to Fall of Arnor. Right on, Kustos. Oh yeah, the art you're seeing on the left is included in the new core update, completely free. And it's all of Ghost Mountain, a little bit of Warp Shell, a little bit of everything new. Basically, all the new art I did, you get for free in your core download. So I know that it's frustrating to people that, we don't get all of this in print and stuff, but that's because print can't support this. It can't move at this pace. So I took everything that I did almost for Worlds and packed it into online play assets that you get for free with your core purchase. I don't see a thing more honest and more open to do than that. So, does that make sense, Gary? I hope that answers your question. Oh, Chuck, hey, don't die on me, all right? Just remember, they're just symptoms. It's not you. Just little critters. Get some sleep, my brother. All right, well, hey, it's 5:30. We spent some time together. That Jawa wizard. Oh, man, I love that name. Describe your character in 2 words. Jawa wizard. I'm in. Count me in. So that's actually the last of it. I think we went through everything. The Brave, all the way up to the Iridrum Outcast. Those are all the new heroes. Here, I can open up monsters as well. The free monsters that come with core now. Because of Worlds. So, I don't know if you can see my screen or anything. I'm like browsing. Icrpg XSplit Kit. You guys are seeing all the files. I have literally thousands of them at this point because of this wonderful project. Oh, wait, it's in working. It's oh, Halung! I love Halung! Oh, I love Halung. Here we go. So, here are, there's not many of them, there's just a few, but monsters that were specifically called out in Worlds that are now included in tokens and cards in your core download. So that's Azael the Butcher that you see over there. He's sort of the end boss of Ghost Mountain. This is an Ice Elemental from Warp Shell. These are the Custodians, which are these sort of weird geometrical creatures from Xenos. So in Alfheim, you realize that Xenos is actually a crashed starship. And then we have the Red Lady, which is inspired by Brahm in The Lost Gods, which is this sort of ruler of hell. She's like a sort of a sphinx creature, but I kind of modified her for my own purposes. And those are the 4 big monsters that you get for free. So you get both cards and tokens for those because they're included in Worlds. How do you keep everything organized when working on a project of this scale? Alex Carr, man, that is a crazy, insightful question. I don't. I don't. I tend to work in an ever-ascending stack of total chaos. Like, you guys are going to kind of freak out a little bit, but I have very few folders on my hard drive. They're massive folders. Like, I have a folder called Icrpg, which has like 4,000 files in it. Because I just don't structure my work. I tend to work in a linear fashion, and I tend to work from my gut. Because I think companies are places where I have to be organized, and Runehammer is just me. It's not a company. I believe in just following my gut and having fun with this hobby, and I think that fun should translate into the work. Many new names, no new stat blocks. Is stat blocks what you came for? Because no. Yeah, use core, use monster rollers, and use the monsters in core, but more so, fuck all of it. Make your own stat blocks. The entire point of Icrpg is that I should not need to provide a bunch of stat blocks. Also, I'm going to have to call out other games in that they give you like 90 monsters in a book, and really they give you 9 stat blocks. They are not interestingly different. This one has more hit points than the other, and then this guy has a claw attack. It is nowhere near as interesting as a DM's imagination, and I don't believe in hammering you with a bunch of stat blocks. I just think it's crap. It's like I say about lists. Here's a book of lists of stats and things that you'll never look at but feel cool that you know about. Do you have 4,000 icons on your screen? Yes, I do, and I will not show you. Yeah, and you know, I don't mean that as like a dig. Like, I don't want to dig on your desire for stat blocks. But Icrpg is not about stat blocks. It is not the point. The point is that you've got it. You can invent combinations of abilities. The stats can be vastly reduced. You don't need stat blocks. Stat blocks are a way for so-called game designers to gloat over you, and they serve almost no other purpose. Oh boy, now we're getting into the big hyperbolic statements. But I really do believe that. Game designers want players to think they know something that players don't, and they simply do not. There is no stat block. It's all crap. Like it's all balanced or something, like there's some kind of hidden math magic that makes it all. Nope. It's all just someone who's enthusiastic and designed some crap. Just like you, because you're a DM, but they want to gloat over you with it so that they can sell you stuff. And I also want to sell you stuff, but I want to sell you the seeds, not the stat blocks. It's just, I really like that question because it digs right to the core of what I believe about this hobby is that, like so many things, there are companies that want to take the freedom away from you and tell you there's a way it should be, and there just isn't. There's no way that a dragon should be. There's no way a zombie should be. It's just do what you want to do. You're the game designer. All dungeon masters are brilliant game designers. Often people that are paid to do a thing are some of the least capable people to do the thing. It's the hobbyists that tend to be the really brilliant, clever creators. And people that do it day in, day out as a profession tend to be numb. Yikes. I just said that. Would you consider designing mechanics rather than monsters? Yes. Consider a list of the mechanics. That's what's in core. That's what's in core. That's the pinch. That's the kite. That's the timer. That's the ambush. Yes. Mechanics are... Yes. You can search for Runehammer and show you all this stuff. Yep. Thank you for sharing that. It was reassuring. And reassuring is one of the core words of my whole stance too, man. You guys, you're smart. You're weird. You're already well-read and outside the norm. You are interested in the quality of your RPG with your friends. That has already differentiated you from so many other people. And in my opinion, set you as peers of the designers of your favorite games. Peers. So you have no need to wait for what your peers are going to say, write, or deliver. You can say, write, and deliver all the same things. The Obel Hearts. Did you look into Fire on the Velvet Horizon? Statless Monster Book. I just haven't gotten there yet. Hero Quest was my gateway drug. Hero Quest. Those crazy elves, man, with those giant eyeballs. Oh, you guys, man. It's a big world. I tell you, it's a big world out there, and, every statement has exceptions, and, when you meet people in person, the hyperbolic statements don't apply and all that good stuff. It's just, I really want you guys to believe that there is no stat block. There is no balance. There's no game design. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. It is a myth created to sell product. There are countless anonymous dungeon masters who are brilliant game designers who are completely unsung, and I want to stand for them and give them tools that they can have fun with. And I don't know if our hobby has strayed from that, but I think that just like all things that become popular, a lot of new adopters will not be hobbyists. They will be those of curiosity, and that's fine too. And like Chult will be great for them. But I don't think Chult is a very fun place to wander and to create. It is just so created. Oof. It's like the Sunless Citadel. It's just so, it's all there. What am I supposed to do? Just adjudicate this? I mean, ugh. So for those of you who are homebrewing Chult and having fun or in Sunless Citadel, freaking rock on, man. Make it your own. Tear it to pieces. But the idea that a company is going to give us a campaign is, to me, completely ludicrous. Because players are going to change everything in the second session, so yeah. Let's see what the 5e modifier is on a check. Who cares? It's +3. And Chris, I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. And you guys know that sometimes I make like sort of hyperbolic, exaggerated statements about stuff and, opinionated statements. And I don't mean them to degrade or bring down anybody's hard work. I really don't. I just want more people to see that this hobby is an us hobby. It's not a them hobby. You don't have to buy your way into RPGs. You don't have to buy Icrpg. Get the free quick start and don't buy the other stuff. That's totally okay, and you'll still see the contribution that I want to make to the hobby. And do it in your own way. You know, Worlds is a perfect example of a book not to buy. You know, it's a bunch of stories and adventures. So if that's something that you're good at making, do not buy it. But if it's something that you're looking for answers, then it's going to be fun. It's just never believe that the answers are outside yourself. We've been playing starter set for 5e for the past years. Wow. Good God. That's incredible. We didn't even make it one session before we went off the path. I'm really not a fan of Fendelver. I'm not a Fendelver. I felt that it was very written. The players were meaningless in Fendelver to me. You guys, I think I'm almost at that point. I'm starting to feel like, okay, yeah, we're almost done. Wow. Almost 2 hours we've been sitting here BSing. And by BSing, I mean badassing. Because, man, you guys make me feel great, you know? And also, I gotta admit, and you guys have intuited this, and a lot of people have sent me some really, really kind messages and stuff. It's been a really hard journey for me to get where I am right now. It really has, and it's been a tough end of the year and a tough process, but at the same time, a really rewarding process, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm really proud and happy to call so many people friends, and also proud of the hard work. Yeah, I agree, Nicholas. Storm King's Thunder is like, here's a bunch of stuff. Put whatever players you want in there, but they don't matter. They're not going to change it. Here it all is. But as Cameron learned last night, if your whole campaign isn't completely derailed by the second or third night because your players are playing, something's terribly wrong. Thanks, Zach. I appreciate that. It has been a journey, too. You know, it's not like, hey, guys, I have a YouTube channel. You're going to see a video every week that's consistent because YouTube. No, I'm a human being, and my interests vary just as much as you guys, and I can't just do the same thing week after week. I'm not that kind of person. So it is going to continue to change, evolve, and I have no idea what's coming next, and I'm going to do my absolute best, but I can't guarantee that it's going to be regular, that it's going to be fast, that it's going to be... I just want to do it well. I want to do quality because I don't work for a company, and so it doesn't have to be done regularly. It has to be done well, and I really, really, really believe in that value on quality. I really do freaking believe in it, and I don't want to like overblow it or something, but I think it's really freaking important and undervalued in some places in modern life because we're always so hurried. Hey, Sean! Sean has thrown $20 in the skull. Thank you, my brother. Although, you know, I always say throwing money in the skull, but the skull is evil. Oh, I love drinking on a Friday, you guys. The whole week's done and like been busting ass. And just more than anything, though, I don't know. Maybe I say this too many times. I really appreciate that you guys show up. You know, it's like imagine that you guys coming over to my house every week. We're always going to spend the last 20 minutes with me telling you how happy I am that you came over. Whoa. Sounds like one of my dogs is fending off a squirrel invasion. So there's nothing wrong with corporations, and awesome creative people work for corporations. And I don't mean it that way. It's just not something that I want to do. I want to focus on a smaller scale and be a little more poor and a little more minimalist in my lifestyle in the name of quality. And you know, I'm not saying that as a moan or as a complaint of any kind. I want to be a craftsman because it means a lot to me, in the sort of second half of my life. I want to do something that is quality and that matters. And I think doing that on your own is a little more pure and simple than it is doing it for a company. Whew. Oh man, a 6-day fast. Boy, that is a great way to frickin' get your body nice and tight and your brain. Well, you guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Let's go back to Jawa Wizard because that's my favorite nickname of the night. Thanks, Joel. I appreciate that a lot. And, support, you guys, I know it's cheesy, but really the best way to support me is Patreon. And the reason is that it's sort of like a reliable sort of mortgage payment for me. I know that's like way too real and way too boring and drab and banal. But that is what I love about Patreon, is that it isn't sales-based. And so I can continue to do this and I don't have to scramble. So I love that we're steadily growing on Patreon. It's such a privilege to try to live up to you guys' expectation of what an RPG creator can be. And I'm in 3 game groups a week, and I got a great Deadlands game next week that I'm looking forward to. And there's so many fun things going on. I hope you guys are having that same experience with the hobby. So yeah, we've got the Immortals games coming up, so we're going to stream those too. But we'll get into all that stuff. The Fall of Arnor, which is kind of a little bit of a 40K love letter from me. But yeah, just remember, you guys, and Victor, thank you for bringing that up. Victor, remember the core of everything that I began was about index cards, the most humble DM tool of all time, and I really still believe that that's the core. So you don't have to buy a bunch of shit from me. Don't worry about it. It's all good. But I do hope that you can find a place of power, seeing how I see the hobby and gain from all that I've put into the hobby, and you can find some strength there for yourself and for your friends and have a good time like tomorrow night. Hey Shaker, thanks for the 10, man. I will grab one on you. Just save that money. Come on, get out of here. And oh man, you guys are awesome with the dropping money in the skull. It's amazing. The 20 spot. Thank you so much, Sean, and everybody for tuning in. Mokhtar is a bit in a secret zone. I've got a collaborator who's working on Mokhtar, and we're going to see what happens with Mokhtar. So you guys have been seeing maybe some Inception this whole time. I'm not sure, but whatever. Windows are Windows, and then there's YouTube. How many did what happened? How many peoples we got hanging out? I don't even know what to click anymore. Do I click this like little white space? Whoa! Still 170 you crazy people around. You guys, I'm going to call this stream good for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I really do appreciate it. And I'm not appreciating it because we are many, we are legion. Blue Botic, thank you, dude. Here's a drink for you. It's not just that, yes, we're legion, we are many. It's more, maybe this is something that matters and that can make some good times happen in the next couple weeks in your game. And that's really what I want to do. I know it sounds cheesy as shit, but it is really what I dream of. It's the fulfillment that I'm looking for. So, man, you guys, I really hope that you can hook up Worlds. And if you get a pirate copy or whatever, then rock on. It's really easy to pirate the stuff. But I think there's some good little nuggets in there. And even if you get one little good nugget out of it, I think it could be worth it. And I really hope that you guys have some fun things to say to me. So, hey, next week we're going to wrap up January. We got Lankmar, Volume 1, Swords and Deviltry for the book club. We're going to finish that up, maybe talk about it a little bit. We've got Lair of Knowledge, which, oh crap, the stack of books this month is redonkulous. And then we have Fire and Ice. So we're going to finish all that next week. And January will be done. And then we're going to we're going to cap it all off with Fall of Arnor, which I know you guys don't know a lot about that, but oh, you will know soon. Okay? So, peace, my brothers. Strength, honor, beer, no matter what you're going through out in the world right now, no matter how hard or how easy, how privileged or how underprivileged it may be, believe in storytelling, believe in each other, and we're going to do one thing together. We're going to make tomorrow just a tiny bit better than today. All right? Join me doing that. Until then, this is Hanker and Fernail. I'm going to sign off with some Vitas right now. How does it go? Oh, I remember. No, that's not how it goes.